Welcome to a Monday morning live stream. My name is Cade, and I'm a little under the weather, but I'm okay. I think it's just allergies, and I think that's what everybody says. It's just allergies. But today, not much. Just a busy Monday in the Ortho lab. Got some retainers that we are going to be working on today. I'm working on a wraparound soldered or welded to Adam's clasp, and then I have let's see, some other lower hollies, one with a weird sliver of a pontic that I'm going to try to attempt to do today. So my goal is, my wife's at an appointment. I'm going to try to get as many done as I can today. So thanks for joining, and let's get into it. I just realized I don't have my thing set up. That thing. No. Yeah, there we go. So this is a Coyce. I don't know if y'all have heard of one before, but this is going to be a basic holly, but it's got a little bite plate right here, about this wide as I marked, and about that long, and it's got the lower is going to declude the posteriors. So that being said, let's see, what size Adam's clasp are these? These look small. Let me see if I can get a size 7 in here. Yeah, those are kind of small, so I'm gonna attempt to bend those. And with these, I think I've done a wraparound solder to Adams recently, but this one has a Coyce edit to it. Hopefully I can get far enough to where I could actually sprinkle it. I'll show you what I do when I sprinkle it, so stay tuned for that. I'm using preformed Adam's clasp. Sorry if I'm breathing and sniffing. I did take a Zyrtec before I got started, so hopefully that'll kick in pretty soon. If you're new here, I usually live stream around Sunday afternoons, about 5 or 6. Didn't want to last night because the allergies hit and I didn't feel good. So I thought I'd try a Monday morning. It's a little different for us. Our Mondays usually consist of one of our biggest clients' doctors. They do a bunch of retainers per week, and they want them on Tuesday. So we get them, we'll be getting them today, throughout the day today, and then we'll print them tomorrow. The way it probably should go is I should be working on them throughout the week, but we usually just print them and then they sit there until Monday. And we have our in-laws actually go and deliver for them. So we got a whole family affair here. Again, if you're new, my name's Cade. My wife and I own a orthodontic lab out here in the country, and my pliers are missing. Who stole my pliers? Me. I stole them. They were over here. I do my QCing on another table, but we are out here in the country. Hopefully the internet is going to cooperate. I did have to sign up for Starlink. My company I was using it was wireless, and we had a little dish pointing at a antenna, I don't know, about 10 miles away. But my neighbor's ranch, shoots across my neighbor's ranch, and they have a tree growing in the way. So we were getting some spotty internet for a little while. I couldn't live stream because it was not consistent. So I thought, you know what, Starlink's having a deal on refurbished dishes, and so far so good. I hadn't had any downtime. It's been going good. It's kind of hard out in the country to get internet. There's not like AT&T fiber or Google fiber or anything like that out here. It's just thank goodness for Starlink. because I wouldn't have the speeds I need to run my business out here. And I was lucky to find Rise Broadband, and they were good for many, many years. And most of my business is web-based. My whole software, which is called EasyRx, is based on a web browser on the web. So it's not a program that runs on any specific computer. It can run on any computer that's connected to the internet. And that's where we check in our cases and track our cases and all that good stuff. I know it's not Monday morning for y'all that are watching. Many of y'all. I get a lot of people watching from outside the U.S. But it's about 10 a.m. here, 10:07 here in the U.S., where I'm at, central located in Texas. There we go. I hear it's one bad thing about live streaming on a Monday morning is there are some doctors that will start calling, some doctors' offices. So you may hear my phone ring a little bit, but I'll get back to them shortly. Again, if you're new here, I do these live streams, just kind of training the next generation of ortho lab techs, and then hanging out with the ones who already got a lab and swap stories and tips and tricks and stuff. So welcome. If you're new here, let me know in the chat, and I'd like to say hi to you. If you're an older watcher, older, not age-wise, but you know, you've been watching for a while, what do you think about this Monday live stream? I need to get I had to get some decaf. I was guzzling the other. Have to forgive me. I might have to blow my nose, and I don't want y'all to hear that. I don't want a live drip caught live on the internet. Okay. Oh, I usually have some background music. Let's see. All right. So it's not so boring. Okay, so this is the wraparound. I do use 032 wire. Yeah. This may not be long enough. I think it's long enough. It may not be long. We'll see. I'm just going to use the whole thing. So these wraparounds, I usually do the ones that are soldered to the Adams clasp. I usually do the Adams clasp first, so that way I can set these against the clasp. You know, I did some YouTube analytics. Sometimes I dive into those, or YouTube kind of makes you dive into them a little bit. And they said that most of your viewers are online between 9 and 10. Shooting for 9 o'clock today, but we had to track a package this morning for one of the offices that I sent, and it has not been fun to do that. Mahela, how are you doing? Oh, nice picture. How you doing? I guess there's going to be my regular viewers will catch this recording later. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bend this to be exactly parallel with this horizontal bar on the Adams clasp. You know, I found it interesting. I was talking to an orthodontist in Shanghai, and they call Adams clasp, they don't call them Adams clasp. He does, because he knows that that's what we call them here in the States, but They call them double arrow clasp, which kind of makes sense. It's more of a descriptive term instead of the inventor's last name, which is fine. I've got some ideas myself on some inventions I would like to do, and I'm like, do I want to be one of the guys that puts my name on it? Only if it flows well. Like if I invent some sort of tooth tipper, they can be the Tippet tooth tipper. TM. Nobody steal that from me, please. Okay, I got this. I'm going to keep putting this onto the Adams clasp here. And I go about halfway to the, especially wraparounds, I go about halfway to the canine, and then I make my vertical bend, and then I use my loop formers. I like these the best. I think these are young, no, these are Leone. I think they're young Coster loop forming pliers. Okay, that's flared out a bit. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, my theater arts teacher died January 5th. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess you were probably close to him or her. I know that you do some singing. Were you on the stage a lot? Okay, we're going directly into that. I don't have to do a step up bend or a step down bend. Sometimes you have to go down depending on the heights of the teeth and a lot of other factors. Sometimes I'll put a little bend here and go up, and then a bend there and go down. Oh, toll-free tall. Toll-free tall. Toll-free call. I barely can speak English, and when I got a stuffed up nose, it's even worse. All right. I think I'm there. So I'm going to tack this down. Let that cool, and I'm going to tack the other side. Oh yeah, it needs a little bit of a bend. It does need a little step. It's kind of going up at an angle there. Let me see if I can do that on the model without having to remove this. I can do a little up bend. Yep, there we go. And so that almost leaned it exactly where I needed it. So that mark still works. So I'm going to bend that down in parallel with the horizontal bar there. I love these little tiny 3-prongs. You can get up close and personal with those wires when they're on the model. Okay, so let's set up the, oh, that moved on me. Let me re-wax that down. There we go. Uh, 2005, oh, this year, I was in a play called Stage Door. I don't know if I've heard of that. I'm not into plays very much. Look up Thomas David Wilmoth, Boise, Idaho, Bowman Funeral Home. That's long. Read his obituaries, funerals on YouTube. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll have to look at the comments after the live stream's over to get that. But, okay, so I need to set up my camera. I forgot to set it up over here on my laser welder, not laser, I keep calling it a laser welder, it's not a laser welder. But I usually have this camera here. I just need, this thing. So that way y'all can get a good view of how I laser weld. See if I can get this camera on here. Come on. But I did look into, and I think I might have found it once I get the money. There's a thing I can slip onto one of these eyepieces, and it connects to the live stream, and I can show you what I see in here. Unfortunately, I can't. The angle I show here isn't the angle that I see, so it's kind of hard for y'all to see, but I try my best. Let me plug this in here. There we go. And then where is my HDMI cable? Right here. I didn't think I was going to need this. I should have known better. And let me turn my machine on. The things in the back, I need to get a switch or something. There we go. Everything's lit up. All right, so let's see. Where is... Oh, come on. Well, sorry guys. Oh, here we go. Found it. Gotta zoom in so far. Ouch. There we go. I think I got it. Let's try that. Yep, we got it. I am going to put a new tip on here. I have them here in my little tray. These little electrodes. I do like to use brand new sharpened electrodes when I can. They don't need to be brand new. You can resharpen these and reuse them. I'll put the lid back on here. And we should be ready. Let me set my settings to stainless steel and 26% power, 3 milliseconds. All right. So this is a pretty easy job here. All right, so I've done the outside. This one needs a little bit of help here. Let's see if I can get my fingernail under. Oop, there we go. I moved it. I bent it in just a little too far. I gotta bend it back out. Okay. If that doesn't line up perfectly, it doesn't work very well. All right, here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm bending it out a little bit. It's a little too far inside of that horizontal bar, so I'm not going to get a good, it'll be a weird angle. There we go. Let's re-wax that down. So one good thing about the sticky wax is it fractures, and you can see exactly where it fractured at. It is a little low here. I'll raise it once I get this trimmed. This is for the coist part on the facial. Sometimes I have to lip it over the front depending on how far this opens. So I'm going to leave this a little high, like I did it on purpose. Okay, let's weld this. Oh, gotta take my glasses off. Okay. No, it's not perfect, but I can get it to work. One thing about these laser welders and these pulse arc welders like this one, this is a Lampert Puck D5, and the thing about them is they got to be on point. Your wire bending has to be on point or it will not work. I was close to. It's sad when you lose a teacher that really makes an impact in your life. Fancy. Oh, thank you. Dental Things. Hi. Oh, she's talking to you. Dental Things. Put the labial bow down. See, I just talked about that a little bit. So I'm going to leave it high. It does need to be. It does need to be. It does need to be pulled down just a little bit, like so. And I'll do that at the end. I'll just pull it down. I just want to give me a little bit of room. Like I said, I did it on purpose. Okay. So what I'm going to do is pop this off. I need to get the underside, but I do need to, let's see if I can clean off. Again, the sticky wax is nice because it just fractures off. I mean, it's nice and cool. It's brittle. It holds fast. Pink wax will move around on you. You can use pink wax. I've seen people use pink wax, but it seems like they have to use a lot of it. And it's fine. If that's all you got, use the pink wax. So I'm going to grind this little point right here. And I'm going to hit it with the welder. I left this one long. Now I'm trying not to hit the Adams clasp. There we go. All right, so now let me see if I can get to the inside, and then I'll do these ends also. I've got to clamp my grounding wire on. Let's see. Sometimes doing the inside afterwards is kind of hard. Okay, now let's round this off a bit. What I just ground off. There we go. Okay, let's do the inside of this one. Ooh, got a little wax going on in there. Now, if you're soldering, having wax in your joint will you won't be able to solder. You just won't. But with this, it doesn't really matter because you're not adding any metal. What you're doing is you're superheating, plasma heating the two metals, and when they're done at the same time, they mix together, and so they fuse into one metal. So if there's wax in the way, again, you always want to go for a clean joint when you can. Just makes life easier, but it's one of the things I did like about it. Your joint doesn't have to be as clean as you need it for soldering, but this does make for a really nice, clean, strong weld between these two things. I just reached for my glasses. They weren't even on my head. All right, hold on a second. I gotta blow my nose. Let's see if I can mute this so I don't. DI, who can I start to learn welding when I know soldering already? I'm thinking about, if y'all don't know, I'm trying to build an online course for teaching people how to make their own ortho lab. But I got to do 50 interviews before I launch this thing, make sure I'm building the right course. And a lot of them are, that I've been talking to recently, is they really just need to know how to make appliances and how to do things. And this would be one of them, is I would teach the welding in this online course. If you're interested, in the description below, there's a link. It says connect us, or courses.retainerdesigner.com. You can schedule a Zoom call with me. It's a 30-40 minute Zoom call, and you can let me know what you need in a course. especially if I get that one thing where I can slide on here and you can see exactly what I'm doing. I can't teach laser welding. Maybe if I get my hands on a laser welder, I can teach that. But let me know, even in the comments below if you want. You can also shoot me an email anytime, or you can touch base with me on Facebook, Retainer Designer on Facebook. But my email is retainerdesigner, like my title, @gmail.com. So if you want to send me an email, let me know exactly what you're looking for. I might be able to put together some sort of training video for people. All right, so let's go back to here. That is the wrong view. This is it. So I'm going to put this back on here. I'm going to leave that labial bow high. I got it. There's a method to my madness. Actually, I'm going to take this off. I got to mount this on an articulator. Let me go see. I'm going to use a Galletti. This is a Galletti. If y'all haven't seen one before, can I get in the shot? It's a plasterless articulator, and it uses these clamps or things to hold the models in place, and it's got a ball joint here and a shaft that it goes through. I might need my hot glue gun. You can tell I sometimes attach these 3D printed models I have to attach them to these bases because when I print them, they don't have bases. It's too expensive to print bases on 3D printed models. So I'm going to put the upper one on here, and I'm going to mount this with the wax bite because they sent a nice wax bite, and it's probably set by the doctor to how much opening they want. Oh, this isn't going to work. I'm going to need a base for this. All right, let me get a base. Let's see. Will this work? Let me get one. Over here, on my articulators. This will work. I might have to super glue. My hot glue gun has been acting up on me. I'll look over. It's supposed to turn on when I turn on all my stuff, but sometimes I look over and it's off and it's cold. It takes a while for it to heat back up. Yeah. So just oh, this might be too tall. So what's happening is I got to put this on here, and this is too. They've when they poured it up, they did something. So it's one of the downsides. You need a nice solid model to fit in there. So I'm going to maybe glue this down. I'm going to regret it when I try to take it off. But hopefully this doesn't get too tall on me. So I have this fillet glue. I don't like the little tubes that this comes on. I did a whole video on using this stuff for different purposes and things. Oh, it's stuck. Come on. Ah. I have to heat this wire up and stick it in there. By the time I do this, my hot glue gun might be ready. I need a set of pliers. Oh, I had a whole plug in there. So that means that my accelerator got in there. So this is like super glue for dental labs, but it comes with an accelerator that instantly sets it up to even. So like super glue, you know, you gotta hold it for 30, 60 seconds or so. So I'm just gonna put a few dots around here, and then let me put the cap back on before I spray. And I'm gonna spray way over here. I have the accelerator spray for it, which is just like this spray, and I'm gonna see it's not set up yet. It's moving around on me. So I'm gonna hold it straight. do a few little things like that. I just need to hold this just for long enough to put acrylic on it, then I can take it all apart. I don't need it after that. So yeah, now it's set. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on this lower. And then I'm going to loosen up. I do need to clean off these because they're going to interfere with getting the wax bite on there. So, and here's the wax bite. See, they did a really good job molding this exactly where they want it. So I'm going to use it to mount this. And that's the good thing about these Galletti articulators. If you use plaster and the wax bite's off that you use, you just got to remount with plaster. This one you just undo a couple screws and you can adjust it, readjust it. So, all right, you can see how much angle this thing had. It's crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten the screws down on the ball joint and the one on this back shaft part. And then I'll open this, take out the wax bite, and then there's the bite they gave me. That's what the bite looks like. Wow, that molar's really in crossbite. So I am going to open this a bit because I need all the teeth to declude for this coarse deprogrammer. And I knew it was going to be like this. Well, so this is my VDO changer right here. So I'm just going to open it just a bit. Yeah. So it does look like I probably need to go over this a little bit because this lower jaw will slide forward and back. It decludes here. I don't want any interference. I want to see some space in there. And I think we're good. So I'm going to lock this down. And I'm going to put this back on. That's not Pete crowing in the background. That's Little Red, who's getting beat up by the neighbor rooster. His name's Fernando. He's mean. Our poor Little Red's getting beat up. I don't know why he was getting targeted like crazy the other day. They were both bloody. They were just going to war. And now Little Red just kind of stays away from the flock. Tries to tease some hens to come over and follow him. Again, I do need to lower that labial bow, but just to get it out of the way of the articulating. I'm going to put one more coat of separator on these teeth because they're actually going to be pushed down into the wet acrylic. And I'm going to put a little bit of utility wax on the front of this. Like so. A little bit of sticky wax in there. Don't like the looks of that. So that's going to be like my little dam to stop the acrylic from engaging with that labial bow. And this is probably not going to be this tall. It just gives us a little room to work it back. I am going to open that a little bit. That seems like that's worst case scenario. They have to grind it down a little bit. Okay, so open it up. That gives me a little bit of a, I don't know how wide that is. Almost 2 millimeters wide. So that should be strong enough. All right, let's go and set up the acrylic station over here. Let me move my roaming phone here. I do have to put up my stuff I was doing last night. Luminary purple fix-it powder. So somebody wanted a black onyx retainer. Let me get a new paper towel holder. I know it uses a lot of paper towels, but it's just the best way to keep, one color. One color from getting into another. One color of one retainer getting to the color of another. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see. Where is that? Here. Okay. This is standard pink. Yeah, nothing fancy. Oh, I think I had a comment. Mahela, yeah, I bet you can. You notice my labial bow is too high. You've already got the eye for it. Just a question to encourage myself. How many years of experience do you have when you opened your own ortho lab? That was, I opened my ortho lab twice. And I went to, the first time was right after I graduated from dental lab school in San Antonio. I got my certified dental technician certificate. And then I moved to, well, you know what, let me answer these after, I'll answer these after, while we're waiting for it in the pressure pot. Okay. Or I'll talk while I'm doing this. Yeah, I opened up my ortho lab twice. The first time was after I graduated lab school in 2003. And I opened it up January of 2004. I'd already been working as an in-house lab tech and an assistant years before that, with plans on going to dental school and then on to ortho school to become an orthodontist. But I was a B average student, so I didn't really stand out from the applicants. So I was either gonna have to, Texas dental schools at that time, early 2000s, was hard to get into, very competitive. It probably still is. So I got a flyer in the mail for one of the dental schools. They had a dental lab tech program, and so I went and checked it out, loved it. Got accepted, went to lab school, just had a blast. This mediocre student actually I graduated first in my class. It surprised me too. I didn't even know it till the end. And 2 or 3 of our students I was with, there was 24 of us in that class. They went on to dental school. They're dentists right now. But I really liked the lab, so I stopped applying to dental school and opened my own lab when I got out, and been doing it ever since. Now, I said I opened it twice. That first lab I merged with the Crown and Bridge lab in 2008. They wanted to open up a ortho department in the Crown and Bridge lab, and that was my job, to hire and train technicians to open that up for them. And it made an offer I couldn't refuse. I wasn't good at running a business at that time. Gosh, I was still in my 20s, I guess. So then I merged with that lab and worked for them till 2012. And then I went to work for another orthodontic only lab, and I was a lab manager there. Again, training and stuff like that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is the almost called the NTI. It is kind of like an NTI, but it's just like a little bite plate that the lower teeth are going to hit on first before the back teeth do. And I usually just try to make enough to where my wife can trim back, and she'll make it nice and square and flat. See, I'm just kind of flattening it with my finger. Let's do the front. And I'm just using regular splint acrylic for this because they're going to be biting on it just like a regular splint. Might be slumping there. So I get that, almost overbuild it, and that just gives my wife, when she goes to trim this, just a little more time, a little more room to trim it and make it pretty. I'm just making sure I have enough for her to work with. All right, so let's put the articulator back on. And this is the only reason I need this articulator, is just to find that right there. So you see how those teeth just sunk in? That is, she's going to grind it down to that level, to the level of those teeth. So I'm just going to close this, make sure there's enough on the front that it doesn't break off. We've done that before. I made it too thin, and after trimming it gets even thinner, and then it breaks off, and I got to re-add it or go without it. So then I'm looking to make sure it's pretty much parallel with the occlusion this way. And so there should be enough to scooch the lower jaw forward and back and side to side. All right, let's put this in the pressure pot. I don't know if y'all have seen me put this in a pressure pot before. Well, I'm really close to that pressure pot. So it just sits in there. All right. Yeah, so just to finish my thoughts on that is, so I worked from them from 2012, that second Ortho lab, till the end of 2017. I gave them a 3-month notice. I was actually driving an hour there, spending 12, 14 hours working, driving an hour back. Had a baby girl at the time, and I would only see her when she's sleeping. She'd be asleep when I leave, and she'd be asleep when I get back. So I was like, I'm not spending any time with my family. So my wife gave me the encouragement to reopen my lab, and so that's what I did, is I reopened my lab in January 2018. And so if you count by the time I graduated dental lab school in 2003, 2023, I had 20 years experience, but I had a little bit more in-house lab experience before that. Let me clear my nose real quick. It does 2 milliliters mean 1 centimeter. No, 2 millimeters. So not milliliters, millimeters, and you need 10 of those to make a centimeter. So 10 millimeters makes 1 centimeter. Cen meaning 10, if I'm right. Oh, that camera freezes all the time. It's good now. Okay, good. All right, hold on a second. Let me. Sorry, had to go wash my hands. Y'all are muted after I did that. Came back. I don't know where my camera went. It was looking at something. But I'm going to see if I can bend one more before the hour's up. I usually try to live stream. Oh, the wrong camera. Ooh, that is dark. That is gross and dark. see. These dark gray models are hard to get a good view on. So this is a lower holly. It's going to have a continuous rest. What we'll do is we'll bend this, and then we'll get that out of the pressure pot and see how it looks. Okay, little red, I can hear you. I don't know if y'all can hear him or not. You grow up believing that they only crow at night and 5 o'clock in the morning. And they do. But they do also do it throughout the day. A lot of it's, I think, just communicating with other roosters, letting them know they're there. There he goes again. So this is what I call a continuous rest. It's one wire. I like it because it strengthens the retainer. Now this doctor I'm doing this for, he had told me that at one point, sometimes doing a wire all the way through like this will actually it'll strengthen the retainer, but also will make it more breakable because it doesn't have as much flex in it, so you're preventing the flex of the acrylic. So I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that before. It kind of makes sense if you just got short little wires in here, and if you have a wire going all the way through the acrylic, that's also a breaking point because there's always just a little bit of oxygen or air around the wire because the wire doesn't chemically bond to the acrylic. I'm holding that in place with my finger. There we go. That was a continuous rest. So let's go to the, man, now it's kind of blurry, isn't it? Oh, Mahila, you heard him. You heard the rooster. He's only got one eye now. You kind of, sometimes you walk up on him and it surprises him. So these, I hear you, Little Red. This is actually a 4-to-4 labial bow, so a little bit different. Most of the time, it's 3-to-3 labial bow, but I do have 2 doctors that do the 4-to-4 labial bow with 3-to-3 acrylic. They just like to encapsulate those canines in acrylic just to keep them from twisting, rotating, drifting off. But usually on a 3-to-3 labial bow, there's enough wire touching it. And if you have acrylic on there, a little bit of acrylic will touch it too and keep it from rotating. But this is a guarantee if they wear it. And obviously this person has not wore their retainer. But I wasn't told to reset the teeth. Again, I get these models already printed from the doctor, so I don't have to print these. They ship them. They print them in-house and ship them to me. I have 2 doctors that do that. They want it to save money because, you know, what I charge for, you know, $16 just for the model. They're like, well, shoot, I can print here and save some money, and they do, and I appreciate it. That means I don't have to print them. One thing I miss about the plaster models is the models are usually sitting there ready to go. You don't have to wait on them to get printed. I'm going to cut this a little short. It's hitting the model a bit. Now we're not going to, again, this is going to have labial acrylic. I'm not going to try and go in and out of each of those. I'm sure what's happening is the patient just wants to hold what's there. They didn't wear their retainer or something happened to their retainer. the good thing about the software I use, EasyRx, is I can go and look up the patient name and see how many times we've made a retainer for them. You'll notice it is, you'll make retainers over and over and over again on a certain patient. They just cannot keep up with them. And then sometimes you'll get, I got a retainer I had to replace on a 76-year-old lady. And she wore that thing religiously since the 80s when she got braces. And back in the 80s, the braces were, 70s, 80s, the braces were a big ordeal. They put bands around every single tooth. So it was a lot more painful and slow and arduous process for braces. So she definitely did not want her teeth to relapse. But I was worried about replacing because she had gotten used to it. Again, these retainers will last 20, 30 years if you take good care of them. Whereas the visible ones, what I call the Essex, like the Invisalign and stuff like that, those really, I mean, even through their own documentation, those really only last 18 months. And then they need to be replaced. So, good old acrylic and wire retainers are excellent. Your mouth takes longer to get used to them than an Essex, but your mouth really adapts really fast. To new things if you wear it consistently. So if you're watching this live stream or recording, wear your retainer. If it doesn't fit anymore, you'll have to go back to an orthodontist to take a new impression. Like this person did. And I'll make them a brand new retainer. And hopefully they don't lose more of their relapse. They won't relapse so much. I think I'm going to tighten this down just a little bit. I see a gap all the way in the front. So I'm blowing in this so the wax will cure. I'm just going to take some regular soft, big 3-prong that won't hurt. Ooh, that's touching the gum. I'm going to have to flare that out in QC. There we go. So now we're going to put some of this stuff. This is hot glue, and I'm using black so I can see it. The only drawback is when it's a black retainer or a splint or something. And I made one last night, a bonded RPE, and I have to be very careful to get all this out because it's the exact color of the acrylic. All right, so that is ready for acrylic. I don't acrylic immediately. I like for that to cool down because that'll make your acrylic set up faster. And if I can find the right pan, don't put it in the wrong pan, Kate. You do the wrong. So that's luminary blue. Uh-oh. Oh, this doesn't belong in there. So I have another one, and I'll show this off real quick. Nope, this one. So I got this back, brand new. It hadn't been worn, and I've already kind of adjusted it. But it doesn't, and you can tell there's some relapse going on. But they sent a new model, and the model looks just slightly different. So I don't know what happened. If the relapse happened more and it just doesn't fit as well, or there was some distortion in here. Usually you don't get distortion with 3D printed models. So that's interesting. So I'll have to do a little sleuthing on that. All right, let's get that out of the pressure pot. You know, I could leave this on oh, I never did cut the distal of this. Usually I cut it so I can get my knife under it easier. Well, Cade. There we go. Don't break. Yay, didn't break. Go ahead and take the wax off because my steamer is on the fritz. And it does not do a good job. I need to get it repaired. Thinking about buying a brand new one. If I buy a brand new one, I'll do a review of it. The reliable steamer that I have, it's reliable for about 2 or 3 years. Then it needs a new part or something, new burner. Nose is running again. Hold on a second, let me blow my nose in. Y'all can't hear me. Okay, let me go back. Yes, I'll go check on the rooster after the live stream ends, and we'll. He might be alerting to like a hawk or something, or just crowing at another rooster. You're really throwing off my week. I know I keep doing it at the wrong time. Usually I do Sunday afternoons, and I'll try to get back on that. But it just didn't work out for me then, and so anyway. We are on a Monday morning. We're trying it out. And then Hayla says, sorry, Dylan Lab. She's watching. She's going to be an Ortho Lab tech soon. Watch it, Steve. She'll watching our video. She'll become an expert. But here is the final product. It's not final. I still got to trim it. But it's really just trimming a basic wraparound retainer. I do need to steam this out, but she's gonna, where's a pencil? She's gonna just trim this flat right here. And then all this will be blended in. And it'll probably go down the teeth a little bit and back up. And so that's what she's gonna grind it down to this level with the teeth that we imprinted in there. So I'll take a picture of it and throw it up on my YouTube channel when it gets done. So with that being said, my allergies are kicking in. I need to go. Oh, and it's exactly 11 o'clock. So we've been exactly an hour, and we did a wraparound with a coarse thing, and we did a lower holly retainer. So it didn't get as far as I wanted to on the live stream, but that's how it goes sometimes. And I'm going to go take some more medicine and so I can get back to work because my Monday doesn't stop when you get sick. So until next time, is my coffee cold? Yeah, that's cold. But until next time, I just want to say happy bending, and Pete says hi.